And another fascinating character is Margot, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, because she's the unexpected guest that kind of throws a wrench into Slowik's perfect plans for the soiree. And then there's an interesting dynamic there between the two of them, right?
Yeah, well, she's the outsider. She's the unexpected guest. I mean, without giving any spoilers, all the guests are known entities to Slowik. They've either been there before. If they haven't, he's researched them thoroughly. So he knows exactly who's eating in his restaurant. And the last minute, one of the guests, Tyler, played brilliantly by Nick Hoult, brilliant performance, brings a different girl than the one that the restaurant has expected, a different girlfriend, or a seeming girlfriend, called Margot, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. Because she's a late arrival, she's an unknown to Slowik, and actually proves to be a woman of real toughness, and doesn't buy in to the preciousness or the mystique of the chef. She resists it.
And then, oh, sorry.
She resisted. No, go on. What were you going to say?
No. My apologies.
No, she resists it, but in resisting it, sort of, funnily enough, that your antagonist is also someone who sees you. So basically, she takes up an oppositional element to the chef, but in doing so, they sort of have an understanding. There's quite an interesting dynamic that develops between them.
And then the kitchen itself, the restaurant, is almost its own character. I thought that the attention to detail in that kitchen and in the whole menu that your character puts together is also quite extraordinary.
Well, that's all to do with the thoroughness that Mark Mylod brings to it, that he really wanted the kitchen to, despite it being a fancy schmancy kitchen, high-end prices, it still had to be absolutely real and be utterly convincing as that kind of restaurant. And that the detail was that in the design and in all the heads of departments bringing their skills to bear under Mark's direction, realizing that we've got to believe in this place. We've got to really believe in it in order for the story to take us inside, take us in.
You've mentioned Mark several times, and before finishing our interview, I did want to, you've worked with some of the best filmmakers of recent times, Ray, but what do you think Mark brought into this, and especially in getting that tone that you mentioned right?
Well, Mark, he's very instinctive, he's very clever. He understands, first of all, he has I feel he's very empathetic to the acting process. He knows that given time and the number of takes and the right kind of direction and in a way nurturing the actors, actors can expand, and he likes, in the end, the final takes on any given shot. He asks you to improvise and play around. And I felt that he was watching and suggesting all different kinds of nuances to every single take. Watching very astutely as to what, giving very clear feedback to anything that I did or any of us did. And I felt he had a good plan. He had a good overview. He sort of knew how he wanted to shoot it, and there was no time wasted. And I think that's another thing that makes actors and crew relax or feel confident, is when they know that the shape of the shooting day is very clearly been thought through. And that engenders that sort of encourages a feeling of confidence and thereby relaxation, and so that the inventiveness and Mark encourages. He wants all the actors to play, because he knows they're outside the intelligent reading of any line or speech. There's also other possibilities that can be useful to him and to his editor.
Just to wrap it up, Ray, you mentioned before that one of the things that you liked about the film is you didn't really know exactly how it would end, what would happen. It constantly surprised me. This is a movie that constantly surprised me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was wondering, now that you've finished it and you look back at the whole experience of being a part of it, what surprised you? What would you say you learned? I don't know, you're a better cook now.
What did I learn? Well, I tell you what, the tone of the film, I don't know quite what I imagined it was a little, when I saw it on just with me and an agent, I wasn't sure because I couldn't tell what its tone was. I didn't know where it was. And then when I saw it with an audience, I completely understood that Mark had found a sweet spot of a kind of satirical entertainment. And I mean, I think one of the questions everyone was asking is, what kind of film is this? Because rather sadly, you know, dialogue about filmmaking is often about what's it like. The film you're going to make, what is it like? Which is somehow a bit depressing, because I think, why does it have to be like anything? Why are we always wanting to understand a film by a film it might be like? I don't understand. But I quite like this because it actually was genuinely puzzling to people. And I guess they put it together, they tested it. I think Mark and the producers wanted the film to connect. Possibly, I thought it might have been a slightly more art housey film with maybe a bit more kind of opaque tone. But this seems to find a satirical tone that brings people in, brings an audience in. But you have to see it with an audience. I think it really, when I saw it in Toronto, that audience response was fantastic.
And I couldn't agree with you more, Rafe. And by the way, you're brilliant, absolutely brilliant in this. One of your finest performances, without any doubt. Thank you so much for putting up with me today, and just, you know, wishing you all the luck in the world.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
You take care and have a wonderful rest of the day.